Master, shall I strike? What's the strike? Nothing. Villain, forbear. I'll strike at nothing.
Sir, I say forbear.
My Valentine word.
We are just off some good news. So much of bad already hath possessed them.
Then in dumb silence will I bury mine, for they are harsh, untunable, and bad.
Is Sylvia dead?
No, Valentine.
No, Valentine, for sacred Sylvia. Hath she forsworn me?
No, Valentine.
No, Valentine and Sylvia hath forsworn me. What is your news?
Sir, there is a proclamation that thou art banished. That thou art banished. That is the news. From Sylvia, from hence, from me, thy friend.
I've already read upon this woman. Now excess of it will make me surfeit. Does she know that I am banished?
Aye. And she is offered to the doom which unreversed stands in effectual force. A sea of melting pearl, which some call tears, those at her father's churlish feet she tendered. With them upon her knees, her humble self, wringing her hands whose whiteness overcame them, as if but now they waxed and paled for woe. But neither bended knee, pure hand held up, sad sigh, deep groan, or silver shedding tear could penetrate her uncompassionate sire. But if Valentine be ta'en, must die. Besides, her intercession chafed him so, when she, for thy repute with suppliant, to close prison commanded her, with many benefits abiding him.
Enough! Unless the next word thou speakest has some malignant power upon my life. If so, I pray thee, breathe it in mine ear, as ending anthem of my endless dollar.
Cease to lament, for that thou canst not help, and study hope for that which thou laments. Time is the nurse and breeder of all good. Here if thou stay, thou cannot see thy love. Besides, thy staying will abridge thy life. Hope is a lover's staff. Walk hence with that. Manage it against despairing thoughts. Thy letters may be here, but thou art hence, which being writ to me shall be delivered even in the milk-white bosom of thy love. The time now serves not to expostulate. Come, I'll convey thee through the city gate. And ere I part with thee, confer at large all that concerns thy love affairs. As thou lovest Sylvia, though not for thyself, regard thy danger and along with me.
Fathers, I beg thee. It is thus is my boy. Bid him make haste to meet me at the north gate.
Go, sir, find my Valentine!
Oh, dear Sylvia, the hapless Valentine.
I am but a fool, look you. And yet I have the wit to think my master is a kind of knave. But that's all one if he be but one knave. Oh, he lives not now that knows me to be in love, yet I am love. But a team of horse shall not pluck that from me, nor who 'tis I love. And yet 'tis a woman. But what woman I will not tell myself. And yet 'tis a milkmaid. Yet 'tis not a maid, for she hath had gossips. She hath more qualities in her than a water spaniel, which is much in a bare Christian. Oh, here is the catalogue of her condition. Infamous. She can fetch and carry. Why, a horse can do no more. Nay, a horse cannot fetch, but only carry. Therefore, she is better than a jade. Item. She can milk. Look you, a sweet virtue in a maid with clean hands.
And now, senior lads, what news with your mastership?
My master's ship. Why does that seem?
Well, your old lie still, mistake the word. What news then in your paper?
The blackest news that ever thou heard.
Why, man, how black?
Why, as black as ink.
Let me read them.
Thy only jolthead, thou canst not read.
Thou liest, I can.
I will try thee. Tell me this. Who begot thee?
Mary, the son of my grandfather.
Illiterate loiterer, it was the son of thy grandmother. This proves that thou canst not read.
Come, come, try me in thy faithful.
Here, St. Nicholas be thy speed.
Infamous, she can milk.
Aye, that she can.
Item, she brews good ale.
And thereof comes the proverb, blessing of your heart, you brew good ale.
Item, she can sew.
That's as much as to say, can she sew?
Item, she can knit.
What care a man for a stock with a wench when she can knit him a stock?
Item, she can wash and
A
scour.
special virtue, for then she need not be washed and scoured.
Item, she can spin.
Then may I set the world on wheels when she can spin for a living.
Item, she hath many nameless virtues. virtue.
That's as much as to say bastard virtues, who indeed know not their fathers and therefore have no names.
Here follow her vices.
Close at the heels of her virtues.
Item, she is not to be kissed fasting in respect of her breath.
That fault may be mended with a breakfast. Read on.
Item, she hath a sweet mouth.
That makes amends for her sour breath.
Item, she doth talk in her sleep.
Well, the best is she sleep not in her talk.
Item, she is slow in words.
Oh! Villain who set this among her vices. To be slow in words is a woman's only virtue. I pray thee, it's a woman's chief virtue.
Item, she is proud.
Out with that too. It was Eve's legacy and cannot be taken from her.
Item, she hath no teeth.
Well, it's no matter for that because I love crusts.
Item, she is cursed.
The best is she hath no teeth to bite.
Item, she will not praise her liquor.
If her liquor be good, she shall. If she will not, I will. For good things should be praised.
Item, she is too liberal.
Of her tongue she cannot, for that's writ down she is slow of. Of her purse she shall not, for that I'll keep shut. Now, of another thing, she may, and that cannot I tell. Well, proceed.
Item, she hath more hair than wit, more false than hairs, and more wealth than fault.
Stop there. I'll have it. She was mine and not mine twice or thrice in that last article. And if it be a match, as nothing is impossible.
What then?
Why, then I will tell thee, that thy master stays for thee at the north gate.
For me?
For thee? Aye, who art thou? He hath stayed for a better man.
Must I go to him?
Thou must run to him, for thou hast stayed so long that going will scarce serve the turn.
Why didst thou tell me sooner? A pass of your love letters!
Now will he be swinged for reading my letters? An unmannerly slave that will thrust himself into secrets, I'll after to rejoice in the boy's correction.
from her sight.
Sent in exile, she has despised me most, forsworn my company, and railed at me that I'm desperate of obtaining her.
This weak impress of love is as a figure drenched in ice, with which an hour's heat doth melt and lose his form, and so a little time will melt her frozen thoughts, and worthless Valentine shall be forgot. How now, Sir Proteus? Is your countryman, according to our proclamation, gone?
Gone, my lord.
And my daughter Chase is going grievously.
A little time, my lord, will kill that wretch.
So I believe, but Thurio thinks not so. Proteus, the good conceit I hold of thee, for thou hast shown some sign of good desert, and makes me the better to confer with thee.
Longer than I prove loyal to your grace, let me not live to look upon your grace.
I know it's so little here would affect the match between my daughter and Sir Thurio.
I do, my lord.
And I think thou art not ignorant how she opposes him against my will.
She did, my lord, when Sir Valentine was here.
Aye, and perversely she persevers so. What might we do to make the girl forget the love of Valentine and love Sir Thurio?
The best way is to slander him with falsehood, cowardice, poor descent, three things women highly hold in hate.
Aye, but you'll think that it is spoken hate.
Indeed, if his enemy deliberates, therefore it must with circumstance be spoken by one she esteemeth as his friend.
And you must undertake to slander him.
And that, my lord, I would be loath to do. 'Tis an ill office of a gentleman, especially against his very friend.
Why, your good word can never advantage him. Your slander can never damage him. Therefore the office is indifferent, being entreated to it by your friend.
You have prevailed, my lord. If I can do it by aught, if I can speak in his dispraise, she shall not long continue love to him. But this we her love from Valentine, it does not follow she shall love Sir Thurio. Therefore, as one wines her love from him, lest it should raffle and be good to none, you must provide an ornament to me, which must be done by praising me as much as you in words dispraise Sir Valentine.
And, Proteus, we dare trust you in this kind, because we know on Valentine's report thou art already love's firm votary, and cannot soon revolt and change your mind. Upon this warrant shall you have access, where you may confer at large with Sylvia, for she is lovish, heavy, and melancholy, and for your friend's sake will be glad of you. Where you may temper her by your persuasion to hate young Valentine and love my friend.
All that I can do, I will effect. But you, Sir Thurio, are not sharp enough. You must lay line to tangle her desires by wayful sonnets whose composed rhymes are full fraught with serviceable vows.
Aye, much is the force of having bred poesy.
Say that upon the altar of her beauty, you sacrifice your tears, your sighs, your heart, right, till your ink be dry, and with your tears moist it again, form some feeling line that may discover such integrity. For Orpheus' lute was O-R-P-S. Orpheus' lute was strong with poet sinews, whose golden touch could soften steel and stone, make tigers tame and huge leviathans. Forsake unsounded deeps to dance on sands. After your dire lamenting elegies, visit by night your lady's chamber window, and with some sweet consorts to their instruments, tune a deploring dump. The night's dead silence will well become such sweet, complaining greetings. This, or nothing else, will inherit.
This discipline shows thou hast been in love.
Tonight I shall put it in practice. Therefore, sweet Proteus, my direction giver, let us into the city presently to sort some gentlemen well skilled in music. I have a sonnet that will serve the turn to give the onset to thy good advice.
About it, gentlemen.
We will wait upon your lordship till after supper, and afterwards determine our
Even
proceedings.
now, about it. I will part with you.
beard will I, for he is a proper man. No, I have little will to lose. A man I am crossed with adversity. My fortunes are these very which you should fear discourage me. You take the sum and substance that I have.
Whither travel you?
To Rome.
Whence came you?
From Milan.
How long have you sojourned there?
Some 16 months, and long broken state of crooked fortune had not thwarted me.
What? Were you banished then?
I was.
For what offense?
That which now torments me to rehearse. I killed a man. I must repent, though I slew him amply in fight, and not without base advantages or false treacheries.
Why ne'er repented if it were done so? Or were you banished for so small a fault?
I was, and held me glad of such a fate.
Have you the tongue?
My travels in my youth there have made me happy, or else I often had been miserable.
By the bare scalp of Robin Hood's backbriar. This fellow were a king for our wild faction.
We'll have him. Sarah's word. not for my fortune. Know then that some of us are gentlemen, such as the fury of ungoverned youth, thrust from the company of awful men. Myself was from Verona banished for practicing to steal away a lady, an heir and niece allied unto the Duke.
And I, from Mantua, for a gentleman who, in my mood, I stabbed unto the heart.
And like petty crimes of these, but to the purpose. For we cite our fault that they may hold excused our lawless lives, and partly, seeing as you are beautified with goodly shape, and by your own report a linguist, and a man of such perfection that we do in our quality much want.
Indeed, because you are a banished man, therefore above the rest we parley to you. Are you content to be our general, to make a virtue of necessity, and live as we do in the wilderness?
What say'st thou? Wilt thou be of our consort? Say I, and be the captain of us all. We'll do thee homage, and be ruled by thee. Love thee as our commander and king.
But, if thou scorn our courtesy, thou diest. Thou shalt not live to brag what we have offered.
I will take your offer and will live with you, provided you do no outrages on silly women and poor passengers.
We detest such vile, base practices. Come thou. We'll show thee to our cruise and show thee all the treasures we have got, which, with ourselves, all rest at thy dispose.
Already have I been false to Valentine, and now I must be unjust to Thurio under the color of commendance. I have accessed my own love to prefer. But Sylvia is too fair, too true, too holy to be corrupted by my worthless gifts. When I protest true loyalty to her, she twits me on my falsehood to my friend. When to her beauty I commend my vows, she bids me think how I've been forsworn in breaking my faith with Julie, whom I loved. Notwithstanding all her sudden quips, the least whereof would quell a lover's hope, yet, Spaniel-like, the more she spurns my love, the more it grows and fawneth on her still. Yet here comes Thurio, and now must we to her window to give some evening music to her ear.
How now, Sir Proteus, are you crept before me?
Aye, gentle Thurio, for you know, love of frequent service where it cannot go.
Aye, but I hope, sir, that you love not here.
Oh, but I do, or else I would be hence.
Who? Sylvia?
Aye, Sylvia. Ah, for thy sake!
I thank you for your own. Now, let's tune into it lustily a while.
Now, my young guest, methinks your melancholy. I pray you, why is it? Marry mine host, because I cannot be merry. Come, we'll have you be merry. I'll bring you where you shall hear music, and see the gentleman that you ask for. But shall I hear him speak? Aye, that you shall. Have to see music. Hark! Hark! Let's hear my music. Aye, but peace, let's hear it.
Who is Sylvia? What is she? That all our swims commend her. Holy, fair, and wise is she, that heaven such grace did lend her. That she might admired be, is she kind, she is fair, for beauty lives with kindness. Love doth to her eyes repair, to help him of his blindness. And being helped in heaven's fair, then to Sylvia let us sing. But Sylvia is excelled, she excels each mortal thing upon this dull earth dwelling. To her let us garments bring.
How now? Are you sadder than you were before? How do you, man? The music likes you not.
You mistake. The musician likes me not.
Why, my pretty youth?
He plays false, mother.
How? Out of tune on the strings?
But so false that it grieves my very heartstrings.
You have a quick ear.
I would I were deaf. It makes me have a slow heart.
I perceive you delight not in music.
Not a whit when it jars so.
Hark what fine change is in the music.
Aye, that changes the spite.
You'd have them always play but one thing.
I would always have one play but one thing. But tell me, host, doth this Sir Proteus that we talk on often resort unto this gentlewoman?
I tell you what Lawrence, his man, told me. He loved her out of all things.
Where is Lawrence?
Gone to seek his dog, which tomorrow, by his master's command, he must carry for a present to his lady.
Please stand aside the company parts.
Lothario, fear not you, and will so plead that you shall say my cunning drifting self. Where meet we? I see Gregory's well. Farewell. Madam, good evening to your ladyship.
I thank you for your music. Who is that that's space?
One lady, if you knew his heart's pure truth, you would quickly learn to know him by his voice.
Sir Proteus, as I take it.
Proteus, gentle lady, and your servant.
What's your will?
Whatever becomes yours.
Oh, you have your wish. My will is even this. That presently, you hie you home to bed, thou subtle, perjured, false, disloyal man. Thinkest thou I am so shallow, so conceitless to be seduced by thy flattery, that hast deceived so many with thy vows? Return, and make thy love amends. For me, by this pale queen of night, I swear I am so far from granting thy request that I despise thee for thy wrongful suit, and intend to chide myself, even for this time I spent in talking to thee.
I grieve! Sweet love, I did love the lady once, but she is dead.
'Twere false if I should speak it, for I am sure she is not buried.
Say that she be, yet Valentine, thy friend survives, to whom thyself art witness I am betrothed. Art thou not ashamed to wrong him with thy importunity?
I likewise hear that Valentine is dead.
So suppose am I. For in his grave assure thyself my love is buried.
Sweet lady, let me break it from the earth.
Go to thy lady's grave, call her this, or at the least in her sepulchre thine.
He heard not that.
Madam, if your heart be so obdurate, now seek me yet your picture for my love. The picture that is hanging in your chamber, to that I speak. To that I sigh and weep. For since the substance of your perfect self is else devoted, I am but a shadow, and to your shadow will I make true love.
If 'twere a substance, you would sure deceive it and make it but a shadow as I am.
I am very loath to be your idol, sir. But since your falsehood shall become you well to worship shadows and adore false shapes, send to me in the morning and I'll send it. And so good rest.
As such as have one night wait for execution in the morn.
Husband, you go.
By my habit, I was fast asleep.
Pray you rely Sir Proteus.
Mary in my house. Trust me, it is almost day.
Not so. But it hath been the longest night that e'er I've watched, and the most heaviest. This is the hour that Madame Sylvia has entreated me to call and know her mind. There's some great matter she'd employ me in.
Your servant and your friend won the tender ladyship's command.
And more. 1,000 times good morrow.
Oh, not as many, worthy lady, to yourself. According to your ladyship's info, I must early come to know what service it is your pleasure to command me in.
Thou art a venture to depart alone.
Madam, I pity much your grievances, which I know they're virtuously laced. I did consent to go along with you. Reckon what little betideth me, as much as I wish all good but fortune you. When will you go?
This evening coming,
Where shall I meet?
at Friar Patrick's cell where I intend holy confession.
I will not fail your ladyship. Good morrow, gentle lady.
Tomorrow, kind Eglamour.
When a man's servant shall play cur with him, look you, it goes hard. One that I raised up of a puppy, one that I saved from drowning with 3 or 4 of his blind brothers and sisters, whipped to it. I have taught him as one would say precisely, thus I would teach a dog. I was sent to deliver him as a present to Mistress Sylvia from my master, and I came no sooner into the dining chamber, but he steps me to her trencher and steals her chicken's leg. Oh, 'tis a foul thing when a cur cannot keep himself in all companies. If I had not more wit than he, to take a fault upon me that he did, I think he'd been hanged for it. Sure as I live, he'd suffered for it. You shall judge. He thrust me himself into the company of 3 or 4 gentlemen-like dogs under the Duke's table. He had not been there, bless the mark of pissing while, but all the chambers smelt him. Out with the dog, says one. What cur is that, says another. Hang him up, says the third. Whip him out, says the Duke. I, having been acquainted with the smell of him, knew it was crab, and goes me to the fellow that whips the dog. Friend, quoth I, you mean to whip the dog? Aye, marry, do I, quoth he. You do him the more wrong, quoth I. 'Twas I that did the thing you wot of. He bids me no more do but whips me out of the chamber. How many masters would do this for his servant? Nay, I'll be sworn, I have sat in the stocks for puddings he has stolen, otherwise he'd been executed. I have stood on the pillory for geese he hath killed, otherwise he'd suffer for it. Thou thinkest not of this now. Nay, I remember the trick you served me when I took my leave of Madame Sylvia. Did not I bid thee so mark me and do as I do? When didst thou see me heave up my leg and make water against a gentle woman's farthingale? I'll ever see thee do such a trick!
God, I like you well and employed in some service present.
When you please, I'll do what I
I
can.
hope thou wilt. How now, your some peasant? Where have you been these 3 or 4 years?
Mary, sir, I carried Mistress Sylvia the dog you bade me.
What says she to my little jewel?
Mary, she says your dog is a cur and tells you cur steaks is good enough for such a present.
But she received my dog.
Aye, indeed, she did not. Here have I brought it back again.
What? Didst thou offer her this from me?
Aye, sir. The other dog was stolen from me at the marketplace by the hangman boys, and so I offered her my own, who is a dog as big as 10 of yours, and therefore the gift the greater.
Go, get thee hence, and find my dog again, when there return again to my sight. Wait! Sayest thou to vex me here? A slave!
That villain end turns me to shame.
Sebastian! I entertain thee partly that I am in need of such a youth that with some discretion can do my business, for 'tis not trusting on foolish lap, but chiefly for thy face and thy behavior, which, if my augury deceive me not, witness good, bringing up fortune and truth. Therefore, know that this I entertain you. Take this ring and deliver it to Madame Sylvia. She loved me well, delivered it to me.
It seems you love not her to leave her token. She is dead, belike.
Not so, I think she lives.
Alas,
Why wouldst thou cry, alas?
I cannot choose but pity her.
Wherefore shouldst thou pity her?
Because methinks that she loved you as well as you did love your Lady Sylvia. She dreams on him that has forgot her love. You dote on her that cares not for your love. 'Tis pity love should be so contrary. And thinking on it makes me cry, alas.
Well, deliver that ring therewithal, this letter. That is her chamber. Tell my lady I claim the promise of her heavenly picture. Your message being done, I am home unto my chamber, where thou shalt find me sad and solitary.
How many women would do such a message? Alas, poor Proteus! Thou hast entertained a fox to be the shepherd of thy lambs. Alas, poor fool. Why do I pity him that with his very heart despiseth me? Because he loves her, he despiseth me. Because I love him, I must pity him. This ring I gave him when he parted from me to bind him, to remember my goodwill. And now am I, unhappy messenger, to plead for that which I would not obtain, to carry that which I would have refused, to praise his face, which I would have dispraised. I am my master's true confirmed love, but cannot be true servant to my master unless I prove false traitor to myself. Yet will I woo for him, but yet so coldly, as heaven it knows I would not have him speed. Gentlewoman, good day. I pray you, be my means to bring me here to speak with Madam Sylvia.
What would you with her if that I be she?
If you be she, I do entreat your patience to hear me speak the message I am sent on.
From whom?
From my master, Sir Proteus, madam.
He sends you for a picture?
Aye, madam.
Go, give your master this. Tell him from me, one Julia that his changing thoughts forget would better fit his chamber than this shadow.
Madam, I please you peruse this letter. Pardon me, madam. I have unadvised delivered to you a paper that I should not. This is the letter to your ladyship.
I pray thee, let me look on that again.
I may not be good, madam. Pardon me.
Hold. I will not look upon your master's lines. I know they are stuffed with protestations and full of newfound oaths that he will break as easily as I do tear his paper.
Madam, he sends your ladyship this ring.
The more shame for him that he sends it me. For I have heard him say 1,000 times his Julia gave it him at his departure. Though his false finger hath profaned the ring, mine will not do his Julia so much wrong.
She thanks you.
What sayest thou?
I thank you, madam, that you tender her. Poor gentlewoman, my master owns her much.
Dost thou know her?
Almost as well as I do know myself. To think upon her woes, I do protest that I have wept several times.
But like she thinks that Proteus hath forsook her.
I think she does, and that's her cause of sorrow.
Is she not passing fair?
She hath been fairer, madam, than she is. When she did think my master loved her well, she, in my judgment, was as fair as you. But since she did neglect her looking glass and threw her sun-excelling eyes away, the air hath starved the roses in her cheeks and pinched the lily tincture of her face. That now, she has become as black as I.
How tall is she?
About my stature. For at Pentecost, where all our pageants of the lights were played, our youth got me to play the woman's part, and I was trimmed in Madame Julia's gown, which served as fit by all men's judgments as if the garment had been made for me. Therefore I know she is about my height. And at that time, I made her weep a good, for I did play a lamentable part. Madam, 'twas Ariadne, passioning for Theseus, perjury and unjust flight, which I so lively acted with my tears that my poor mistress, moved therewithal, wept bitterly. And would I might be dead had I not felt her very sorrow.
She is beholden to thee, gentle youth. Alas, poor lady, desolate and left. I weep myself to think upon thy words. Here, youth, there is my purse. I give thee this for thy sweet mistress' sake, because thou lovest her. Farewell.
And she shall thank you for it, ere you know her. A virtuous gentlewoman, mild and beautiful. I hope my master's suit will be but cold, since she respects my mistress' love so much. Alas, how love can trifle with itself! Ugh. Here is her picture. Let me see. I think if I had such attire, this face of mine were full as lovely as is this of hers. And yet, I think the painter flattered her a little, unless I flattered with myself too much. Her hair is auburn. Mine is perfect yellow. If that be all the difference in his love, I'll get me such a colored periwig. Her eyes are gray as glass, and so are mine. Aye, but her forehead's low and mine is high. What should it be that he respects in her, but I can make respective in myself, if this fond love were not a blinded God? Come, shadow, and take this shadow up, for 'tis thy rival. Oh, thou senseless form, thou shalt be worshipped, kissed, loved, adored, and were there sense in his idolatry, my substance should be statue in thy stead. I will use thee kindly for thy mistress' sake that used me so. Or else, by Jove, I vow, I should have scratched out your unseeing eyes to make my master out of love with thee.
Sun begins to gild the western sky, and now it is the very hour that Madame Sylvia, at Friar Patrick's cell, should meet me. She will not fail, for lovers break not hours, unless it be to come before their time, so much they spur their expedition. Ah! See where she comes. Lady, a happy minute.
Hey, Manny, miss! Oh, Anglemore! Now at the cost for ready Abbey Wall. I fear I'm in the direct spies.
Fear not. The forest is not really exhaust. If we recover that, we are sure enough.
What does Helena my suit? Oh, sir, I find her milder than she was. And yet, she takes exceptions at your person. What, that my leg is too long? No, that it is too little. I'll wear a boot to make it somewhat rounder.
Nay, love will not be spurred to what it loves.
What's this sheet on my face? That it is a fair one. Nay, then, the wanton lies, my face is tan. How like she my discourse? Ill when you talk of war, but well when I discourse of love and peace.
But better indeed when you hold your peace.
What's this sheet on my back? Oh, sir, she makes no doubt of that.
She needs not, she knows it, cowardice.
What's this sheet on my birth? That you are well derived.
True, from a gentleman to a fool.
Consider she my possessions. Aye, sir, and pities them. Wherefore?
That such an ass should own them.
Then they are out by the least.
Oh, here comes.
Anassario, which of you saw Eglamore place?
Nor I.
So you ain't got her?
Neither.
Why, then she's fled under that peasant Valentine, and Eglamore is in her company. 'Tis true, for Friar Lawrence, as he in penance met them both, though him he knew well, and guessed that it was she, but being masked, he was not sure of it. And besides, she did intend confession at Patrick's cell this even, and there she was not. All these likelihoods confirm her flight from hence. Therefore stand not on discourse, but mount you presently, and meet with me upon the rising of the mountain foot that leads toward Manchmal, whither they are fled. Dispatch, sweet gentlemen, and follow me.
Why this? It is to be a peevish girl that flies her fortune when it follows her. I'll after. More to be revenged on Eglamore than for the love of reckless Sylvia. I'll go more for Sylvia's love and hate of Eglamour that goes with her.
And I'll follow. More to cross that love than hate for Sylvia that is gone for love.
Be patient. We must bring you to our captain.
1,000 more mischances than this one of learning to look patiently. Come, take her away.
Where's the gentlewoman that was with her?
Oh, being nimble-footed, she hath outrun
But
us.
noiseless and hilarious, follow her. Go balance her to the west end of the woods. There is our captain.
We'll follow her.
The thing it is to stand, she cannot stay. Come, I must bring you to our captain's cave.
But fear not. He bears an honorable mind and will not use a woman lawlessly.
Oh, Valentine, this I endure for thee.
I'm used to breed a habit in a man. The shadowy desert, these unfrequented woods, I better brook than flourishing peopled towns. Here I can sit alone, unseen of any, until the nightingale's complaining notes tune my distresses and record my woes. No, thou that dost inhabit in my breast, leave not the mansion so long tenantless, lest the building growing ruinous should fall, leaving no memory of what it was. Oh, repair me with thy presence, Sylvia, thou gentle nymph, cherish thy forlorn swain. Well, these are my mates that make their wills their law. They have some unhappy passenger in chase. I have much to do to keep them from uncivil outrages, but they love me well. Oh, jolly Valentine, who's this comes here?
Madam! The service I have done you, why you respect not I, the servant done. To hazard life and rescue you from him were first your honor and your love. Beseech me for my need, but one fair look. Smaller boon than this I cannot beg. Less than this I'm sure you cannot give.
Oh, how like a dream is this I see and I hear. Oh, love, give me patience to forbear a while.
Oh, miserable, unhappy that I am.
Unhappy were you, madam, ere I came, but by my coming I have made you happy.
Oh, by thy approach thou makest me most unhappy.
And me when he approaches to your presence.
Had I been seized by a hungry lion, I would have been a breakfast to the beast rather than have false Proteus rescue me. Oh, heaven be judge how I love Valentine, whose life is tender to me as my soul, and full as much for more there cannot be. I do detest false perjured Proteus, therefore be gone, solicit me no more.
What dangerous action stood it next to death would I not undergo for one calm look? That is the curse in love. When women cannot love where they are beloved.
Proteus cannot love where he's beloved. Read over Julia's heart, thy first, best love, for whose dear sake thou didst then rend thy faith into 1,000 oaths, and all those oaths descended to the perjury to love me. Thou hast no faith left now, unless thou hast two, and that's far worse than none. Better have none than plural faith, which is too much by one. Thou counterfeit to thy true friend.
In love, who respects friends?
Omen, but Proteus.
If the gentle spirits of moving words can in no way change you into a mild form, then I will use like arms and love you against the nature of love. Force you. You know, to learn to solve and let go the rude, uncivil touch.
Thou, friend of ill fashion, thou common friend, that's without faith, love, such a friend now. Oh, treacherous man, thou hast beguiled my hopes. Not but mine eyes could have persuaded me. Now, I dare not say that I have one friend alive. Thou wouldst disprove me. Who should be trusted when one's right Never trust me more. Count the world a stranger for thy sake. Oh, the pride wound is deepest. Oh, time most accursed. That amongst all foes, a friend should be the worst.
My shame you found me. Forgive me. Valentine. If I saw me sufficient reason for offense, I said you here, I truly suffer, and there I think confess.
Then I am paid. Once again, I do receive the honest. Who by repentance is not satisfied, is nor of heaven nor earth, for these are pleased. By repentance the eternal's wrath's appeased, and so that my love may appear plain and free. All that was mine in Sylvia, I give to thee.
Be unhappy.
Yeah, look to the boy.
My boy, my lad! I don't know what's the matter. Look up, speak.
Good sir, my master charged me to deliver a ring to Madame Sylvia, which out of my neglect was never done.
Where is that ring, boy?
Here it is. This is it.
Let me see. This is the ring I gave to Julia.
Cry for mercy, sir. I have mistook. This is the ring you sent to Sylvia.
How came you stop by this ring? On my depart, I gave it on to Julia.
And Julia herself did give it me. Julia herself hath brought it hither.
Julia.
Behold her that gave aim to all thy oaths, and entertained them deeply in her heart. How oft hast thou with perjury left the root? Proteus! Let this habit make thee blush. Be thou ashamed that I have took upon me such an immodest raiment. If shame live in a disguise of love. It is the lesser blast modesty finds women to change their shape than mend their minds.
Men, their minds, 'tis true. Oh heavens, men were constant, you were perfect. That one error that fills him with faults makes him run through all the sins, and inconstancy falls off ere it begins. What in Sylvia's face, that I may spy more fresh in Julia's with a constant eye.
Come, a hand from each. And let me be blessed to make this happy close. And for pity two such friends should be long foes.
Bear witness heaven, I have my wish forever.
And I mine.
Your Grace, you are welcome to a man disgraced. Banished Valentine.
Sir Valentine?
Yonder is Sylvia, and Sylvia's mine.
Get me back, Troy, or else you break thy... Come not within the measure of my wrath. Name Sylvia thy force once again. Milan shall not hold thee. Here she is. Take but possession of her with a touch. I dare you but to breathe upon my love.
Sir Valentine, I care not for her. I hold him but a fool that will endanger his own body for a girl that loves him not. I claim her not, and therefore she's thine.
The more considerate and base art thou to make such means for her as thou hast done, and leave her on such slight conditions. Now, by my ancestry, I do applaud thy spirit, Valentine, and think thee worthy of an empress' love. Know then I here forget all griefs, cancel all grudge, heal thee home again, and lead a new state in thy unrivaled merit, to which I must subscribe. Sir Valentine, thou art a gentleman, and well derived. Take thou thy Sylvia, for thou hast deserved her.
I thank your grace. Your gift hath made me happy, but I must ask, for your daughter's sake, to grant one boon.
I grant it for the noble, whatever it be.
These banished men that I have kept withal are men endued with worthy qualities. Forgive them what they have committed here, and let them be recalled from their exile. They are civil, reformed, and full of good, fit for great employment, worthy Lord.
Thou hast prevailed. I will pardon them and thee. Dispose of them as thou knowest their best deserts. And come, we will conclude all jars with triumph and mirth and rare solemnity.
And as we go along, I dare be bold with our discourse to make your grace to smile. But tell me, my lord, what think you of this page?
I think the boy hath some grace in him. He blushes.
I warrant you, my lord, more grace than boy.
What mean you by that, say?
So please your grace, I will tell you as we pass along, so much that you will wonder what hath fortunate here. Come, Claudius. 'Tis your penance but to hear the story of your love's discovery. That being done, our marriage hour shall be yours. One house, one feast, and one mutual happiness.